The royal couple, Harry and Meghan, have a vacation from hell. Is it desperate PR? Good morning, and thank you very much for tuning in to the Sussex Daily news channel. It would appear that titles are important to Meghan Markle after the recent debacle with Vogue, in which nearly all of the comments on the social media post were negative. It would appear that Vogue was directed to change some of the original text that was included in the post. You can compare the two images below to see the difference. An Instagram account was able to take a screenshot of it before it was edited, and it appears that Meghan Markle insisted on being referred to by the title rather than her name, and that she also requested that the photo credit be changed. All of this is rather trivial, considering that the subject of the conversation, not what people called Meghan Markle, was supposed to be the most important thing, but she seemed to place more importance on it than she should have. After that, pictures of the three of them, including the child known as Archie, began to circulate on social media. A member of the general public had stumbled upon them and shared the pictures on their Facebook and Instagram accounts. It would appear that we were in Jackson Hole, which is located in Wyoming, at the time of the 4th of July parade. It took less than 48 hours for the images to be taken down. During that time, they displayed pictures of the child, as well as some pictures of the backs of Harry and Meghan Markle, but a clear shot of Heather Dvorak. The poster wrote some cheesy text that seemed, well, not like the kind of thing a normal person would write, and appeared to be quite contrived. The poster wrote the text: "When most people bring their own chairs with them to public events, does a bodyguard really need to tell people that seats have been saved for a family?" Then she asserted that she was of the opinion that it must be a member of a royal family, because, after all, that is what typical people would think, right? The next day, there were rumors as to whether or not it was the duo, and lo and behold, Heather Dvorak posted a picture of herself at Jackson Hole with her children to prove that she was there to confirm that she was. 2 days later, the images from the poster were purchased by the Daily Mail and published along with their account of the incident that had occurred. Later on that day, the appearance of the child, commonly known as Archie, is altered by having his face pixelated. If I were to be completely honest, my first reaction would be to either laugh or sigh at what happens to be a desperate plea for attention. In the additional images, the two people can be seen drooping their heads and appearing disinterested as they sit on the sidewalk with a flag. In the meantime, the child is shown wearing a long-sleeved shirt, despite the fact that everyone else is wearing shorts and t-shirts with short sleeves. Additionally, the images show the child being held by the wrist by both of the adults, but the child does not appear to be looking at either of them. Nobody cared to find out who they were, because nobody knew who they were. Because their security did not appear to be able to prevent the images from being taken. The only reasonable conclusion is that the incident had been staged beforehand, which is why Meghan Markle's face is obscured in the photos. Other pictures and videos of the parade had been posted on the original poster's Facebook page at one point. However, these have either been removed or the page has been made private since then. I was able to view a few of them. However, it is possible that there are additional videos and photographs of the Sussexes that have not been made public. If this is the case, have these been screened? When compared to the images of the Sussexes, the previously shared pictures were of relatively low quality. Therefore, it is possible that the pictures were staged. The child, who had their nickname taken by another member of the family, did not show up to the family gathering. Maybe she was preoccupied with something else. Legal action against the government and their decision to not provide Harry with protection around the clock and every day continues. When you read statements from the case, it honestly sounds like a spoilt child is kicking their feet and throwing a fit in an effort to convince others that they are a victim so that they can get what they want. This is because the child is determined to convince others that they are a victim so that they can get what they want. You can imagine him yelling, "It's not fair," while pulling a face. But you have to learn to accept the fact that life isn't always fair. Harry makes the accusation that the royal household interfered with RAVEC's ability to come to an independent decision as a result of their actions. When he says Sir Edward Young, he is referring to the Queen's private secretary. Sir Edward Young was one of the participants in the discussions on how to handle Harry's security once he had stepped back from being a full-time working member of the royal family. This is due to the fact that Harry has stated that he had a strained relationship with Young, the very same individual in whom the Queen places her trust and who provides her with advice. In a nutshell, he is making the assumption that Young would have held prejudices against him and influenced RAVEC's decision. According to Harry, he should have been informed of who was making the decision, including who was in the RAVEC and who was advising them from the royal household. Harry also claims that he should have been informed who was in the RAVEC. Due to the nature of being independent, Harry has no right to know this information, as this ensures that there is no possibility of bribery or corruption. In addition to this, he asserts that the royal household should not have been involved in the decision-making process. However, he does not have the authority to dictate or decide who should or who should not be involved in the process of decision-making. During the course of the hearing, Harry's attorney, named Fatima, stated that she did not intend to imply any form of bias or bad faith on her part. However, she did exactly that when she stated that they could not be impartial with members of the royal household being involved. Harry has asserted that his offer to pay for protection were not conveyed to the RAVEC, despite the fact that he made these offers. Again, this is irrelevant because the decision that was made would not have been affected by this, because it is illegal to pay privately for public service. However, his legal team has suggested that this could have affected the decision. How many times do we have to stress the point that you cannot make a payment offer for a service that is not currently being provided? Harry asserts that had RAVEC been aware of his offer to pay for protection, they would have been able to make a different choice if they had considered it. This is subjective, but it is based on an offer that Harry said he hadn't made, as per the ANL lawsuit. And now he says that he had made an offer in January 2020 and that it was not communicated properly to RAVEC. This is based on an offer that Harry said he hadn't made, as per the ANL lawsuit. Did he put it in writing? And if so, when and to whom was the written version given? Formal communication is required for these kinds of matters. You can't just make a passing remark and expect someone to remember it and pass it on. When confronted with the question of why he did not challenge the RAVEC decision from February 2020 until September 2021, his feeble excuse was that there was a local pandemic during that time. As a result, Harry accuses COVID-19 of being negligent for failing to initiate a legal challenge as soon as the decision was made. It is speculated that he went to the United Kingdom on a number of personal trips during the year 2020, but these trips were kept secret from the general public. Harry asserts that the fact that RAVEC was not independent was due to the fact that the Queen's private secretary, Sir Edward Young, was involved, and that this was the factor that led to the denial of the protection he desired. Harry is referring to the fact that Sir Edward Young was involved. It is important to keep in mind that he is a trusted royal aide who works directly for the Queen in her best interests and most likely did so with her blessing. One must keep this in mind at all times. Harry has stated that Young's participation was inappropriate, as if he had some control over who can participate in the activity. Even though Harry's witness statement won't be made public because it contains information that could pose a threat to the safety of others, I can almost guarantee that there will be a lot of complaining about it. A second application for judicial review has been submitted, and it appears to have been prompted by Harry's offer to pay for security. In this application, Harry argues that this should be taken into account because it was not communicated to RAVEC, and he claims that this should be considered. This seems like a last-ditch effort to continue the legal challenge and to suggest that RAVEC could not make the right decision without knowing of Harry's empty offer to pay for a service that was never available. However, This seems like a desperate move to continue the legal challenge. If you are a lawyer and you agree to pursue this matter, you are doing it for the money. In essence, what he is doing is arguing that the empty offers of offering to pay for public service were relevant to the decision, despite the fact that it has been stated that they were not. According to the Home Office, even if RAVEC had known about the empty offer before it was leaked to the press by representatives of Sussex PR, it would not have changed their decision. The end of my news for today. The next video will continue to provide you with the most recent information regarding Harry's legal action. If you find the information that we provide to be interesting, please do not forget to distribute it to anyone else. Also, before you leave, don't be afraid to sign up for the Sussex Daily news channel. It will not disappoint. I will say my goodbyes now and hope to see you again soon.